Cambridge class, this is your fourth grammar lesson this week and we will be looking again at adverbs. Adverbs and adverbials add detail to a verb. The table below shows you how you can remember different types of adverbs or adverbials. It's using the acronym TRAMP. So the A stands for adverbs or adverbials, and around that we've got time, and that's our when or how often or how much. We've got the reason, which is our why. M stands for manner, which is how it's done. And P stands for place, which is where it's done. So it's just a way of remembering what questions the adverbs actually answer. So time, reason, manner or place. When, how often, how much, why, how and where. First of all, looking at time. So when or how often does the verb occur? The bell rang. So rang is your verb, that's why it's underlined with the word verb. How often or when does this happen? The bell rang all of a sudden. So all of a sudden is your adverbial or your adverb. We tend to say adverbial if it's more than one word. So bell rang all of a sudden. What else could we have? The bell rang. We could have a when. The bell rang in the morning, full stop. So in the morning is our adverbial. What else could you have? Could have another when, or could have another how often. The bell rang each week. So each week is the adverbial. What else could we have? The bell rang at 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock is your adverbial. Now we're looking for the reason. So we've done the T for tramp. We're now on the R of tramp. So why did the verb happen? The bell rang because the prisoner had escaped. So all of that information in green is your adverbial. I'd like you to pause the video and continue the bell rang to make sentences that include 3 different adverbials, answering the question why. Pause the video while you do this. So you could have the bell rang because it was time for break. So because it was time for break, all of that is the adverbial. The bell rang because the couple had just got married. So all of that is the adverbial because it answers the question why. And another one, you could have the bell rang because it was midday. So because it was midday is your adverbial. Now we're looking at the M from tramp. Remember the A just stands for adverbs or adverbials. So how, manner means how. How was it carried out? Now these how adverbs usually, but not always, end in ly. Pause the video and write your 3 sentences, including punctuation. So what else could you have? The bell rang quietly. So just the word quietly, that's an adverb. The bell rang eerily. Maybe it was a little bit spooky, and that is your adverb. The bell rang noisily. And just that word is your adverb. And the P from tramp stands for place. So where did the verb take place? Pause the video and write 3 sentences that include punctuation. Can you underline your adverb or your adverbial? The bell rang the church. So at the church is my adverbial. The bell rang. In the garage. In the garage is your adverbial. And last one. The bell rang. Where else could it take place? The bell rang at the wedding. So at the wedding is your adverbial. Well done. Underline the adverbs and adverbials in the following passage and decide if it's an adverbial of time, reason, manner or place. Remember, ask yourself, when or how often did they do the verb? And that's your time one. Where did they do the verb? That's your place one. Why did they do the verb? That's your reason one. And how did they carry out the verb? That is your manner one. She ran quickly through the forest. Her heart was beating like a drum. Her eyes darted around looking for an escape route. Finally, she spotted one in between two old oak trees. Without hesitation, she bolted to the opening in the trees. Would she survive? There's lots and lots of different adverbs and adverbials in here. Underlined are the verbs which help you to identify the adverbials. Sometimes there's more than one, even in one sentence. So she ran quickly. It's how she ran, which is why it's manner, because that's how. Your reason is your why. Time is your when or how often. And your place is your where. Through the forest is next to quickly, but it's still an adverbial because it's telling you where. I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at placing each adverbial under the correct place in the table. See what you can do. Okay, so was beating is your verb and it's telling you that the heart was beating. It's telling you what the heart was doing. How was it beating? It was beating like a drum, and that's manner. Her eyes darted, so eyes is the noun, darted is your verb, darted around looking for an escape route. So around is where they darted, and looking for an escape route is why they darted. It's tricky, isn't it? Finally, she spotted one in between two old oak trees. Finally is when. And I've put a capital letter just because it's a capital letter up here. And we've got in between two old oak trees, and that tells us where. Without hesitation is how. She bolted to the opening in the trees. So where did she bolt? It goes down here. There's lots, isn't there? It's hard to find them all, but well done. Had a good job. You had a good go there. Let's look at this sentence. She ran fast. This girl says, I think there aren't any adverbs in this sentence because there aren't any words ending in ly. Lucy is incorrect. Explain and justify how you know this. Can you think of any similar adverbs where this is also the case? Pause the video and try to explain why Lucy is incorrect. Okay, so what you need to know is that not all adverbs end in ly. which is why Lucy is incorrect. Where is the adverb then? Fast is the adverb because it tells us how the verb was done. So how she ran. Other adverbs similar to this, so not following that ly pattern, include slow and well. She ran well. She ran slow. Underline the adverbs or adverbials. Pause the video while you do this. Okay, let's see if you are correct. So we've got yesterday, a UFO was spotted hovering above the city centre. So yesterday tells you when. Above the city centre tells you where. Many people rushed in amazement, so how and why, to see the fascinating object. Gasps were heard across the bustling neighbourhoods, so that's where again. Several onlookers rubbed their eyes in disbelief, and that's your how. Others slowly took deep breaths, and that's your how. Well done if you got some of those right. Let's look at this one. The giant stomped across the field. The blonde man says, adverbs only tell us how the verb happened, so this sentence has no adverb or adverbial. The other man says, I disagree. Adverbs and adverbials can tell the reader when, where, how, and why the verb happened. Who do you think is correct? Explain your answer and justify it with other examples. Pause the video while you do this. So the man with the moustache and the hat is correct. Adverbs tell us where, when, why, how often, and how much something happened. Where is the adverb or the adverbial in this sentence? So stomped is your verb. The adverbial is across the field. It tells us where something happened. Other examples of adverbials include in the morning, every day, on Friday, quickly, over the bridge, lots and lots of different ideas. This is your last activity for the day. The man was extremely tired. One man says, adverbs always add on extra detail to a verb. The girl says, I'm not so sure. I don't think extremely is adding on detail about was in this sentence. So here, was is your verb. So she's saying, but extremely doesn't tell you, give more information about was. Therefore, is it an adverb? He's saying they always add extra detail to a verb. Who do you think's right? Okay, so in this example, they are both partly right. Adverbs can add detail to verbs, but actually they can also modify, which means describe, adjectives or adverbs as well. So here it's actually modifying the adjective, which is tired. So it's telling you how tired he actually is. So it's still sort of telling us how something is happening, but this time it's modifying the adjective. See you tomorrow for a recap of all 4 word classes covered so far. That's nouns, verbs, adjectives and adverbs. You'll be really ready for year 6 by the time we've finished with all this grammar. See you later.